Welcome to Ignite Your Confidence for women in leadership who want to speak up and stand out. I'm your host, Karen Laus. Here you'll get all of the tips and tools that you need to stand out with unshakable confidence. Let's dive into today's episode. Our next speaker is Sara Menke. She is the CEO of Premier Talent Partners, which she started as a one-woman show in 1998. Now, Premier hires nationally, operates out of 5 offices with a staff of about 65 employees. In her 20 plus years serving as the CEO, Sara has catapulted Premier from obscurity to being a regular on several best of lists, such as San Francisco Business Times list of best places to work and top staffing firms in the Bay Area. Altruistic at heart, Sara has built into Premier's framework a deep sense of social responsibility. Her employees are encouraged to give back to local communities through various organizations geared at making a better tomorrow for a future generation. Last year alone, Premier donated approximately $30,000 to 13 organizations nationwide. She's one of 11 children. She lived in a village in Mexico when she was 19 and was the first Caucasian they had ever seen in person. Lastly, her first tax-paying job, Taco Bell. Let's take a listen to what Sara had to say about when she didn't speak up but wished that she had. Here's Sara.
I have endless examples of moments where I wish I spoke up and I was thinking, oh my goodness, how do I pick just one? Let's see, a fun example. And I was in New York, we have a New York office, and I initially had traveled there a significant amount of time, but I traveled there on a regular basis before COVID. And there was one time where I was in New York and I was actually in a conversation with someone, and a man interrupted me and just, decided that he needed to come into the conversation to share with me that he knew someone that I knew. And so I, was, as always, very gracious. And I said, oh, wonderful, that's great. And then he proceeded to say how proud he was of me for doing what I do. And he then stated that it must be so hard to do what I do, given that I'm a woman. And he wished me luck in the future. And it was such an incredible experience, because that actually hadn't happened to me that directly before. And it was shocking that he interrupted a conversation. It was surprising at how clueless he was of what he was saying. And for me, like, I always laugh because, first of all, I love myself. So I'm like, well, whatever. I mean, yeah, thanks, I guess. I mean, good luck, whatever. I was like, good luck to you. Like, dude, if that's your perspective, you're not gonna be in business much longer. And certainly the person I was talking with was floored at that conversation. So I have had, over my career, many situations where I'm the only woman in a room. It used to be that I was not only the only woman in the room, but the youngest person in the room. And there were often, conversations that were had with me there about my disability being a woman. I laughed it off, in essence, because I wasn't comfortable addressing it directly. With the gentleman in New York, I was just like, whatever, like, I feel sorry for you because you're going to be out of business soon, if that's your perspective on life. But,
right.
But with these other people, I do wish I would have spoken up, because I was in groups with CEOs where there were things that were said that would undermine, my credibility as a professional. A lot of times, there were references made about my physical appearance, and that must be why I am successful.
Oh my goodness.
And I didn't speak up. I actually had a situation like that happen very recently, where I had someone reach out to me, a CEO of a very large company, and say, I'm expanding my business. I'd like to work with you. And, after seeing you, I'm even more interested in doing business with you. And I came back. That time I spoke up and I said, after a lengthy conversation, our values are clearly not aligned. And more importantly, if you think that by telling me that I'm attractive, that I'm going to be interested in doing business with you, you're wrong.
Oh my
You've
God.
undermined yourself and your credibility with me. And I think it's best that we just, not do business together. And this was only a few weeks ago in the midst of COVID where, as a business, a staffing business, we need business. But I am now in a place, and especially because of the Black Lives Matter movement, where I'm very comfortable speaking up.
Yeah.
I hear something that isn't right.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. And what a model. I'm so glad you said something. Jeez. Oh, wow. So what would you say now, kind of pivoting to think about your journey? What was your biggest mistake or failure and what did you learn from it?
By far my biggest mistake or failure, and it has been consistent, is retaining talent that does not align with our value proposition. And the reason why that is the biggest mistake is because even one sliver of doubt within an organization can destroy an organization and its mission. And so it's mission critical that we hire based on our value proposition. And we do, but there have been times where we have made mistakes in hiring, and retaining that talent has proven to, it set us back a bit. So we are now at a place, and I am now at a place where if and when I see misalignment, we cut the cord very quickly. What I've learned from that is that retaining someone who isn't aligned can undermine and create really great crevices in our productivity and our effectiveness, and in the cohesiveness of our organization. And there's nothing worse for a company, right, than being out of alignment.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, and I know you're a role model to many people. Tell us about who was the biggest role model or the most influential person in your life.
Wow, that is a tough one. That is a really tough one. I mean, I would obviously start with my parents first, right? They helped create the foundation from which I am built, which is based on integrity, to be whole and undivided. And I lead with that, right? From there, I have had incredible mentors in my life, whether they knew they were mentors or not. One of my old bosses in staffing who taught me how to really interview and manage an interview process unbiased and from a lens of equity, and that there's nothing more important than that, and that there's nothing more important than making sure that we're representing what is diversity, hiring and diversity of thought, and representing, the, I guess, underrepresented communities, right? So she taught me that, and that has been very much a part of the foundation of Premier. I have to say Oprah, because she has, just as a woman and what she's achieved, and just what she has been through and what she continues to bring every day, the energy, the unconditional love, the conviction, the passion, the connection. I mean, it's endless with her. I also have to identify that there are some companies, some technologies that we look to that I admire so much. The way organizations have grown to continue to make a difference and make an impact and remove what would be, some of the boundaries and or the box, right? I'm definitely an out of box thinker. And so I have some organizations that I've admired as well.
I love what you said about the out of the box thinker. What is something that was maybe an idea that you brought forward that other people went, I don't know about that, Sara. I mean, I know you're the boss and have been for a long time, but have you ever had any resistance to the out of the box thinking that you've had, or maybe one example, but you kept pushing forward with your idea?
I have endless numbers of examples of resistance, endless numbers of examples. And yes, it's so interesting because, right, I'm a founding CEO and I'm 100% owner of this business, right? However, and I am so blessed to be in this position, I am an owner and not an operator. And what that means is that there are people within Premier, our organization, that run divisions, departments, and they are the decision maker. And I am here to be their advocate. I am here to listen, to apply that coaching habit, questions that'll help them get to the right decision. But I am in no way a dictator, and I very rarely will put my foot down, although sometimes I try. What they have learned within Premier is that if I come back 3 times with the same idea, they need to listen. There is an idea that I have had for about 10 years that I bring up periodically. And about a year and a half ago, I brought it up again. And that time I brought it up with a pain point, right? And it was Uber was coming into the staffing sector. And I saw the opportunity to present my idea, but with Uber as a threat, right? I think if you present an idea with fear, then maybe they'll buy in. And what happened was I presented the idea again with Uber as a real viable threat, right? They're coming into our space. And that was what helped me, thank you, Uber, make this transition. And the transition is very big, and it is a major paradigm shift for our business. But what we've effectively done is we've transitioned from what is a brick and mortar staffing business, much like any other staffing business, whether it's entry-level labor staffing all the way up to executive search. We run business the same way. People might say, no, we're different. The reality is that we do work the same way, and especially before when there was no talent, right? We were all headhunting at a very robust level. What we've done is we've built a talent platform. So we have effectively transitioned from brick and mortar now into a digital platform. And so we're running this staffing business, but we're also running this technology business. And it's really, really exciting. And if it wasn't for Uber saying that they were coming to our space, then my executive team and my leadership team, I don't think would have ever supported this idea to make this transition where we're still curating talent, right? But where we were in the middle before as a liaison between talent and clients, we're now wrapping our arms around it and allowing them to communicate, be a part of the workflow process, and be a part of the decision-making process to make better hires.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So how about thinking back to when you first started the business? Can you bring us into the moment where you first opened your doors, maybe that first day, and what that was like?
It was magical. It was magical for so many different reasons. I will say that when I came into recruiting, the first candidate I interviewed was the first resume that came through the first day of Premier. So I started my career at Nelson Staffing, and the candidate that I interviewed, her name was Brigitte. And 5.5 years later, I posted an ad, and the first resume was Brigitte.
Oh my gosh.
And that, for me, is the universe saying, you're doing the right thing. Because how does that happen? And the first day that I opened the doors for Premier, I received a call from Accenture saying, we want to do business with you.
Wow.
We've heard so much about you. And it was our first day. And it just went from there. So yes, the first day was so exciting. I was alone in this beautiful office with this whole, computers and setup and everything waiting. And, I had one day of peace, and then
And that was that, huh?
it just took off. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, congratulations again. It's been so fun to be connected all these years. All right, let's do a lightning round of questions. Just whatever comes to mind. Okay, we'll start with the easy ones. Favorite or first concert?
Three Dog Night. Nice.
Favorite quote or mantra?
I'm a big energy universe person. I believe, I feel, and I allow. Believe, feel, and allow.
Mm-hmm. Great. How about your guilty pleasure or just pleasure on Netflix?
I don't watch TV
Oh,
at all, ever.
oh my gosh.
Never, like, don't ever turn it on. I'm a music person.
Oh, tell us your favorite song.
Oh my gosh. Let me see. Right now, there's a song called Naked that I really like, and I really like Dessert, and I really like, I mean, I like a variety. Youth is a beautiful song. Gratitude, Grateful is a beautiful song. I have so many. My music choice is quite vast as well.
Got it. Got
Yes.
it. I love it. Love it.
Mhm.
How about where your first kiss was?
Oh man. It was at a skating rink. I was young and a much older. I was in grammar school, and a much older high school boy skated by, grabbed my shoulders, kissed me, and then skated away. And I didn't know what happened. And never told anyone about it. It was
Until now.
probably wrong.
Okay, how about the last book that you read?
Oh, I'm reading it. I'm reading it right now. It's oh my gosh, it's such a good book. Is it Embark or Embrace or oh, I can't think of it. Embark or Embrace. It's a very famous and a lot. Engage. A lot of women are reading it right now.
Okay. Untamed?
Untamed. That's it. Sorry.
That's okay. No, Glennon Doyle.
That's it. Woo! Yeah, that's
I
her.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay. What's something you always keep in your purse?
Lipstick and my eye cream.
And the last one, what is something on your nightstand right now?
I have this beautiful deck of cards that was given to me, and they're for women, and they have a book, an interpreting book with them, and I pick a card each day, and it's just a private moment to reflect on. They're gorgeous, the artwork, and they send a simple message each day, and I take that as a blessing.
Love it. Oh, thank you, Sarah. This has just been great. Thank you so much for doing this. And for those people that want to connect with you, please tell us where they can reach you.
Well, they can reach me if they go to our website, premiertalentpartners.com, and go to the team. My picture's there with all of my direct contact information, and I welcome any outreach anytime.
And that's a wrap of another episode of Ignite Your Confidence. I'm your host, Karen Laus. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps other people find the podcast faster, and it certainly helps me. If you're interested in more tips and tools around confidence, please join me over in my Facebook group called Ignite Your Confidence with Karen Laus. Remember, you too can stand out with unshakable confidence.